Ben, you would think that those who push back on the Second Amendment want to pass more restricted gun laws don't get the insanity of what happens is that criminals, especially hardened criminals, don't really care about this legislation. In fact, this legislation works for them. So obviously, I don't think the people on the left want to see innocent people die. I don't think they want to see innocent children harmed on the schoolyard. But I just don't understand. To me, it's just common sense that you'd want to have armed resource officers and you want to have people responsibly armed just in case you can reduce the amount of carnage when this happens.
Absolutely. I think what we've seen both in the recent shooting at the bank, the various school shootings over the years, is that gun-free zones don't work. Someone sees that a bank or a school is gun-free. If you're mentally insane or a criminal, that's not going to stop you. And I think the laws that are, for example, banning permitless carry, banning open carry, that doesn't really matter, does it? Because if you want to go and shoot people, if you want to cause terror, a law that tells you whether you can or cannot carry a gun in public doesn't matter because you're breaking the law anyways. So I think that we have to look at the root cause of this problem, which is a sweeping pandemic of mental illness. There's a common thread among school shooters, and that is that they have displayed signs of mental illness, of serious disturbances. And these signs have often gone unreported. So we need to take a hard look at what our schools and our communities are doing to support mental health, especially among young children, especially young men, because there are always signs, there are always tells. And so if we can intervene early and get these people the help that they need, we might be able to stop some of these horrific mass shootings. So there's two, you mentioned two key issues. One, the case with Justice Thomas, and two, the hypocrisy on stock trading in Congress. I absolutely think that members of Congress should not be allowed to buy and sell shares of stock, especially when they have a direct impact over the markets that determine the prices of these stocks. Former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and her husband made millions of dollars in stocks, Apple, tech stocks, that she had a direct impact over. But it's not just Democrats. Like you said, Republicans do this as well. So you're right, it is a lot of hypocrisy on both sides, and I think in the Supreme Court as well. It's not just Republican justices that take gifts or trips. It's liberal justices as well. So we can't be, we can say that this shouldn't be the case, but right now the Supreme Court doesn't have a codified set of ethics.
They do now. They were instituted March 17th.
Interesting. Okay.
They're in place.
Well, this isn't codified in them, though. There aren't any restrictions on these sorts of gifts, these trips that Justice Thomas allegedly went on.
Not allegedly, he admitted to them.
He did, but
yes.
they didn't break ethics violations.
That is true.
Right. So I don't think anybody's arguing over that, but the question is, should we go a step further and take some of the court's ability to self-govern, if you will, out of their hands and put in place stricter restrictions? Because right now it is the court that governs themselves. You can look back to the leak of the Roe v. Wade decision, or the overturning of the Roe v. Wade decision, obviously came from inside the court. The court conducted its own investigation and ultimately determined that they couldn't find out who the leaker is.
And you don't believe that? And nor do I believe that.
No, of course. They obviously
They protect their institutions.
Right, they protect the institution. Whether that's justified or not, I don't know. I would, of course, like to know who leaked it. I think it was probably a clerk of a liberal justice.
Don't assume. You should never make assumptions here about that, because you never know. Listen, all I want to do is thank all of you for joining us on this edition of the Armstrong Williams Show. And let me just say to America, Justice Thomas is not going to be impeached. He's not going to be disrobed. He's not going to lose his status on the court. And you all can just move on to something else, okay? And we're out of here. Have a very nice weekend, and thank you so much for watching and listening.